Could more moves be coming for Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers after they've released Ricky Council on Friday? Plus, a new Quentin Grimes free agency update. This coming from Bleacher Report's Jake Fischer, just giving us some insight into what the Grimes contract could actually look like and when he could finally sign with Philadelphia. Before we get into those two topics, we're sitting here on Monday, July 28th, just a few days away from the end of the month. So, only a few more days for us to try to catch Warriors today in total subs. About 100 subscribers behind them with a few days to go. Not sure we can catch the Heat report. Definitely can't catch Knicks now unless we get something crazy happening. But we can catch Warriors today. So if you're not subscribed already, hit that sub button. Sixers news, rumors, analysis, and more every single day all year round. I promise you will not regret it. Let's get into the latest on Ricky Council. So in case you missed it, you did not see the short we posted on the channel on Friday. The Sixers did waive Ricky Council over the weekend. I actually talked about this being a possibility a couple of weeks ago because Ricky Council, his contract was non-guaranteed until January. So the Sixers saved $2.2 million by releasing him now because, again, that money completely non-guaranteed. They also, of course, open up a roster spot. So now Philadelphia has two open roster spots in that standard 15-player roster. Of course, still needing to sign Quentin Grimes. So, could another move be coming given that they opened this extra roster spot? Before we get to that, though, a few thoughts on Rookie Council because it's unfortunate that this is where we're at now with him. He's a player that just a year ago, it was actually a year ago tomorrow, I posted on the channel a Ricky Council breakout video where I thought he was going to have a breakout season and really become a true rotational player for the Sixers team. But look, UDFA in 2023 got that two-way deal and played well enough his rookie year to earn a multi-year contract with Philadelphia, playing 105 games the last two seasons. But unfortunately, when he got that multi-year deal at the end of his rookie season, you're thinking he's going to take a big jump in year two. That jump just really did not happen this past season. And, you look at his numbers in his first year, numbers in the second year, had a lot more opportunity this season with the injuries and everything with Philadelphia. He stayed pretty healthy throughout the year, played in 73 games, played pretty much double the amount of minutes that he played his rookie season. And although the scoring went up by a couple points, grabbed an extra rebound a game, the efficiency really took a huge hit. And we just didn't see him make that huge leap that I thought he was going to be able to make this season with the athleticism he has, right? And the flashes he showed as a rookie. You were really hoping that he could kind of put everything together, help the game slow down a little bit. He always just played way too fast, and he never really got better in that area. Nick Nurse had talked about wanting Rookie Council to impact the floor more from the rebounding perspective on both ends of the floor this past season. That really never occurred, and the three-point shot really took a huge leap, as you saw in those efficiency numbers this past season. So just wasn't able to take that leap that I think a lot of us Sixers fans were hoping he would be able to, and now he'll be released. Should have some interest from another team out there. It does kind of stink for him, though, at this point in free agency. A lot of teams' rosters are full. They don't have a lot of money. We'll see where he can land, but he is definitely deserving of a roster spot somewhere just that will not be here in Philadelphia. But given that he's gone, as I mentioned, the Sixers opened up an extra roster spot. So they have two roster spots available to sign players. Of course, you assume they're going to sign Quentin Grimes, but will they sign another player to fill the remaining spot they have now that he's gone? You see 13 guys in the roster, right? You remove Ricky Council from the equation. It's another forward, not, a huge body for Philadelphia that they lost, but another forward out the door. So with some of that depth now at the forward spot, Justin Edwards, Shania Broom, Trenton Watford behind Paula George and Kelly Oubre, they could probably use one more forward in that rotation. So could they go out and sign a potential external free agent? Guys, we've talked about a lot on this show that are all still available, all still able to be signed into free agency for, good reason. These guys are more end of the rotation guys like Chris Boucher, Precious Achiuwa, Trey Lyles, Bol Amir Coffey. But I think they can all contribute to this 76ers roster in some different ways, right? Boucher, a little more of a perimeter player. Achiuwa, a good rebounder, energy guy. Trey Lyles can stretch the floor. Bol, kind of the exciting, height, length, skill set that never really put it all together. And then Amir Coffey, a solid role player as well, who could do a little bit of everything, not a great defender. I don't think the Sixers, though, will end up signing any of those external guys. Even though they have the ability to, they certainly could. I don't think that's what they're going to do based off what Daryl Morey has shown to do throughout his time with Philadelphia. Because 2 spots left, they're going to sign Grimes, right? So then you'll have 1 remaining roster spot open after signing Quentin Grimes. I think they will leave that roster spot open for flexibility heading into the season. The Sixers have done this, I believe, each of the past 2 seasons, leaving 1 roster spot open in case they want to make an additional signing during the year, closer to the start of the season. Or with this particular Sixers team, they have 2 guys on 2-way deals in Dominic Barlow and in Jabari Walker, who could easily both be elevated to the active roster, who both fit at that forward spot. So I think they're leaving that spot open to see if one of those guys on those 2 ways could be converted to standard deals, because both Barlow and Walker, both guys that a lot of NBA teams thought would get deals on the actual NBA roster. They don't. They could get that spot here for Philadelphia. So Ricky Council, no longer on this team. It's upsetting because of what I thought he once could be, but he'll have to find some success elsewhere, and I hope he does find some success elsewhere. What say you, though? Do you think the Sixers made a mistake by waiving Ricky Council now? They certainly could have waited until later on in the season if they wanted, but also trying to open up some money to sign Quentin Grimes as well, even if it's only a little bit, as we'll get to Grimes here in just a second. Did the Sixers make a mistake by waiving Ricky Council? Just give me a yes or no down in the comments, and of course, feel free to expand on your answer as well. So coming up next, now that we've talked Ricky Council, we're going to talk some Quentin Grimes, because Jake Fischer of Bleacher Report gave us a new update a couple of days ago, and we have a better idea now of where things stand between Philadelphia and Grimes and what the contract he might sign could be, because it's different than what I had originally thought and what we've talked about so far on the show. Before we get to that, another amazing deal that I want to tell you guys at Fanatics. We keep getting these great deals coming in, man. It is tremendous right now during these summer months. You've got to take advantage. Embiid City Edition jerseys. I think these are some of the cleanest City Edition jerseys they've released over the past few seasons. And these Embiid ones, 50% off. They're normally $200 because these are the official Nike ones. You see the Nike logo up there on the upper chest area. These aren't the Fanatics ones. These are the official Nike jerseys. So they cost you, but not anymore, because it's 50% off, down from $200 all the way to $100 if you go to chatsports.com/Embiid sale. I'll have that link in the comment section and description of this video as well, so you can click it. It'll take you Fanatics, and you can take advantage of this great deal while it does last, but it is limited time only. Again, chatsports.com/Embiid sale, 50% off Joel Embiid City Edition jerseys. So, Bleacher Report's Jake Fischer, just a couple of days ago, in his blog, posting that Quentin Grimes, at this point, likely to sign a short-term contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Here's everything he had to say. We'll go through it. I'll break it down, give you my thoughts on what this does mean for Grimes and the Sixers moving forward. Now, the Sixers 100% want to bring back Quentin Grimes. We know this. They want him at a very strong number, and they basically cannot mess this up because they let Gershon Yabusele head out the door to New York with their absolute eye on bringing back Quentin Grimes and not hard capping themselves at the second Apen. We talked about that a ton. So, the Sixers, if they have their wish, they will get Grimes and maintain flexibility with the second Apen restrictions to be a player and have their full taxpayer mid-level exception available. That's really important. We'll talk about that more in a second. Quentin Grimes seems more likely to be signing more of a short-term agreement with Philadelphia, as of my latest understanding, than anything else. With Grimes, I think, again, his status seems more likely to be concluded by a short-term agreement, just like Jonathan Kuminga, just like Cam Thomas, some of these other restricted free agents out there in the NBA right now. So, a bunch of thoughts on what he said. First and foremost, what came to my mind here is, look, I hadn't really thought about the Sixers signing Grimes to like a 2-year short-term deal. I thought it was always going to be like give him a 3-4-year deal or sign and trade or give him the qualifying offer. But, a short-term 2-year contract could actually benefit both sides. For Grimes, of course you want to get paid as much as you want, but the Sixers, clearly the market just isn't there if you want $20+ million. So from Grimes' perspective, take a 2-year deal, still get paid a decent amount of money, and then in just 2 seasons, you'll still only be like 27 years old. You can still get another big time contract if you keep playing the way you did this past season. And for the Sixers, this 2-year deal allows you to, one, keep Grimes at an affordable price, assuming you get him at the price you're looking to get him at. And you can kind of evaluate him with all these other guards you have and see if he really is going to be a part of this team's long term future. Or was it really just a flash in the pan at the end of the season? So you can get him in there for 2 years. I really do think it benefits both sides and leaves some flexibility open for Philadelphia. So if that's the case, I think something like a 2-year, $30 to $32 million deal makes a lot of sense. It's right around $15 to $16 million per year. I think that's much closer to what Philadelphia would like to get Grimes at than what Grimes and his camp wants. I think they probably want over $20 million, but I don't think they're going to get that. So sign the short-term deal. I think it works for both sides. If someone like VJ Edgecombe really takes off over the next couple of seasons, you don't have to pay Grimes. But if Grimes really fits well in a couple of seasons, you can give him another contract, and I think feel pretty good about that. It also does leave the Sixers with some flexibility, not just moving forward, but also this season. If we go back to what Fischer said about the Sixers using their mid-level exception, right? They want to leave that open to enable themselves to stay under the second apron and have that money available to use. You can see, we'll go back to what Fischer said here. The Sixers, again, this is important. Get Quentin Grimes, maintain flexibility with the second Apen restrictions to be a player and have their full taxpayer mid-level exception available. That is key because when you get to the trade deadline, right, and the Sixers keep a roster spot open, as I mentioned before, which they could do if they sign Grimes and then don't sign anybody else after letting go of rookie counsel. You keep that spot open. When you get to the trade deadline, if you are under the second apron enough because you give Grimes only $14, $15, $16 million, you can actually use the mid-level exception, which you haven't used so far, as a trade exception to trade for a player. Or you can use it to sign a player in the buyout market, whereas teams over the second apron can't give nearly as much money. So you can kind of a win-win, right? You still get Grimes, get him at a cheaper price, and you have the ability to make a big-time upgrade at the trade deadline. So I think it makes a lot of sense for Daryl Morey, for the Sixers team. We'll see what happens. Fischer did mention he doesn't really see this coming to a resolution in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully sometime in August we can see a deal get done. But I think a short-term 2-year contract does make a lot of sense for both sides. But look, we've heard a lot about this Grimes situation. We don't really know 100% what direction it's going to go, what kind of contract he's going to sign. So prove to me that you know ball down in the comment section. I want you to predict the contract Grimes signs down in the comments. Give me the years, give me the salary, and when he does sign, I want to come back to these comments and see who was right, who was the closest, and who really knows ball. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Once again, if you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that sub button, and we'll catch you next time right here on 76ers Now.